Okay, so welcome everyone. Melissa can't be on the call tonight, but she will. Oh, Melissa's on the call. Yay! I was hoping there would be some other people that went to conference that they could share, especially first timers. So that's perfect timing, Melissa.
Thanks.
Actually, maybe you can open it up and give everybody a first conference attendee perspective. What was it like? Because I know there's going to be a lot of people with curiosity of, should I go to the next conference and why would I invest that much money? What will it do for my business?
Yes, you should go. That's my number one. I think that because I was pretty leery about going, I'll be honest. I didn't really want to be rah type of thing. Like I didn't want that. Just 1 minute. I'm going to put. I didn't want like it to just feel like it was kind of big and beyond me type of thing, right? And when I got there, I just realized that the whole thing I just felt was really just about the culture of the company. And
right now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. And how they just really have our backs, and that all of the speakers really just were there to kind of motivate you to keep working, and not for them, but for change. And I'm motivated. I feel like my business is going to jump through hoops in the next few months because I really got the bigger vision of what the company's about. This isn't about us. Like, you get into network marketing for a reason, and maybe you get into it to think like, oh, I want to make more money, but you're going to shortly realize that that's actually not why you got into network marketing, I think. So, and I really got that when I was just about to walk stage. Sorry, I might cry. It was a really big moment, and I wouldn't have got that had I not gone there. And that bigger picture really at that moment really got solidified in my mind that I don't do this because I want, I don't care if people buy Juice Plus from me. The people who are ready to buy it from me will. And that then becomes the movement. I just shared, so Kimberly Warlow was a speaker at the conference, and I really loved her what she talked about, because what she talked about was just, being a catalyst for change and having the balls to just do it. Right? When someone told her that she couldn't do it, she used the whole, Uptown Funk, don't believe me, just watch. And I was like, you know what? Good for her. And I think that we all should have, the lady balls to do that, because it's not about, it's not about selling Juice Plus. It's about being a catalyst for change. And we have a vehicle right in our pocket that really is influencing, there's babies being born as Juice Plus babies, and those babies are going to be way healthier than other babies being born. And that's the next generation. And that's what, that was my takeaway, was that, like, regardless of what happens through my business, I need to keep going, because this is a mission now. I mean, it always has been, but really. And then I just feel like the whole weekend was just very motivating to drive your business forward. Like, I came back today on 0 sleep, ready to work. Right. And I prospected, and I sent, I did team follow-up, and I did all of that because I want to be a catalyst for change.
Awesome. So you're encouraging people to mark the next dates in their calendar for conference?
Definitely. Yeah. I was supposed to have a Zoom call at 8:30, but I had to kind of have a little nap before this one. So, yeah, but that's on my list to follow up with all of my team. Some of them I encourage them to all come on to this call. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. My secret of doing a red eye and being able to hit the 6:00 p.m. gym was I ate a half a bag of Vineyard Juice tonight.
Oh my God, you're crazy.
So I'm wondering if I'm going to get any sleep tonight. My blood circulation is like, ah!
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I'm here, so that's great.
And it really wasn't, They weren't, Juice Plus in your face. They were just all about like, yeah, just what I said, that just the culture of the company, and that no matter what, as a distributor, just know that they have your back and your best interests are in their mind. Right?
Yep. Awesome. I'm just going to grab my calendar so I can tell you the next date. Hold on here.
I know them, Nicole.
Okay, I just want to get it right. What are they?
It's October 20th to 22nd in St. Louis.
Yeah. So if you want to write those dates down, I would recommend that you fly in on the Wednesday, the 19th, because we end up having our Shining Star breakfast training, which is probably some of the best training to conference. That's usually 4 hours. And that starts usually about 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. And it ends on Saturday afternoon. Some people left early on Saturday, and some people decided to stay for the closing party. And you guys would have seen on Facebook, it was the 80s party thing. So that was a lot of fun. And then some people advise, if you do have the time and the availability to stay an extra day, like you did, Melissa, and you guys went to Sedona and experienced a little bit of fun and pleasure. And some people just enjoyed having that extra day by the pool to kind of digest all the information, have some social. So it'll be up to you. I always find through my experience, because I've been going to conferences now for 10 years, that it's best to start considering looking at hotels as well as getting your flights now. You can get good flight, around 400 to 500. And as we saw, Nicole, when we were looking at getting you to Arizona, the last minute tickets go up to $1,000, right? So you just have to plan for it. Okay, so I've got a few highlights here, and I'm just trying to see who else. Oh, Susan's on here. Hi, Susan. I love to, Susan has gone her second conference. She's been with Juice Plus now for a few years. You just probably missed Melissa talking, but I've recorded it, so you can go back and hear what Melissa said.
Oh, perfect. You got me crying on record.
Susan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give everybody a perspective of you going to conference for the second time over the 2-year period you've been with Juice Plus? You just walked stage as a senior sales coordinator, which is the first step in our leadership position. Can you just share with everybody kind of your perspective of Juice Plus and what you got out of this conference?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, because I don't have my headphones on. Yeah, last year for me, for the first conference, I really felt like it was about the big picture and actually seeing what Juice Plus can do for so many people, not just health-wise, but as a business. And I really got that for my first conference. I was like, oh my gosh, all these average people are doing this. Like, surely we can do this too, right? But going the second time, that was for sure confirmed and become so obvious. But also, it's just really cool having other teammates there and seeing that it's becoming even bigger, right? So they see the bigger picture too. And there's excitement and momentum that builds because you're going to work together.
Cool.
I'm exhausted as well. Are you exhausted? So I was going to come and say hi and then go to bed.
I know all of us were on the same red eye last night. So I got home at 8:30 this morning, but I managed to go to a gym class today. I was just telling everybody I ate a half a bag of Vineyard Chew, Susan. That's been my secret.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I have a tummy ache.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I bet.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the highlights here. Shannon Miller opened up, and Shannon Miller is the most decorated gymnast ever in the history of the United States. And we just loved her energy. What I learned about Shannon is not only was she, an unbelievable athlete and disciplined, she talked about what it takes to be an athlete and the discipline around that. And that same discipline can drive you to the top of this business. She talked about being a cancer survivor and getting off track in her life with her nutrition. and how she ended up having to get back on track. She became a mom. She's got 2 young kids. She's very well educated, and she actually has her own business where it's inspiring women, people to just live a healthier lifestyle. And she actually, as an athlete, was on Juice Plus. It was her coach that introduced it to her mom and dad. And she used it for many, many years as an Olympic athlete. And then as she got older, she kind of forgot about it and stopped taking it. And it's come full circle again. So she's an advocate for it. And the cool thing is the 20-year anniversary of her getting, I think, 7 medals at the Olympics is coming up. And she's going to be going on a tour for the Olympics, which is coming up in 2016. And she's going to be doing a lot of promoting on healthy lifestyle. And she's going to include Juice Plus as part of that healthy lifestyle. So that's really exciting. So in the United States, there's going to be a lot of publicity around Juice Plus through her story and how it's Juice Plus is a tool. So that's really exciting that we're going to get that exposure. So that was Shannon Miller. She's just such a sweetheart. Just I don't know, what can I say? She's just like an average mom, but on a big mission to just make a difference in the world. Another update is most of you have probably heard through Facebook that there's a new product coming. Anybody guess what the new product is?
The omega-3 oils, or all the omega oils?
Yes. Juice Plus is working on a really unique omega blend oil. It's going to have 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 in it. It's going to be whole food, which will meet our criteria as to being a whole food company. They're going to be using algae seeds from the sea, and it's going to be cold pressed oils in a very special, unique capsule. Back here, I'm getting a little bit of sound. Does everybody want to mute themselves? If you go to the bottom of your screen on the left, you can just mute yourself. What else did they say? In regards to the launch of it, they're going to do a staged launch between 2016 and 2017. And they will... I hear some. I'm going to start putting you guys on mute. There we go. I think we're good. And there, yeah, so it's going to be a staged launch and probably a full launch by 2017. They want to make sure that they get this omega-3 blend right. They want to be unique to the market, and they also want to work on research. We might not have research right out of the gates, but it is a priority to make sure that there will be research on this product so that we have this, similar research to what we have with Juice Plus, that we have that credibility behind our product. So that's really exciting. I'm pumped about it. It's going to be a nice addition to our family for sure. Let me see what else I can tell you that came up. This was cool. The Country Music Awards, I had no idea, but the Juice Plus Complete was in the goodie bags for the Country Music Award. There was 450,000 of them given out. And the impression that it made on social media was like something like 1.9 million impressions from like just the what was in the bag. So it's really cool how social media can pick up on our product and then get it out to the world. So they just made, I had no idea that we were even in the gift bag. Okay, what else can I tell you here? Melissa talked about Kimberly Warlow. She was one of my favorites, just an average mom that went through a journey of Juice Plus, having her ups and downs and finding her why. Really struggled financially, had a lot of doubt. We're going to lose their house. And like as Melissa said, she just went to work and proved everybody wrong that we're not believing in her. The quote that I wrote down from her presentation was, "Be responsible for the energy you bring." So if you're a leader and you're bringing people on, you are responsible for the energy. So if you're a negative, or you're complaining, or you are, poo-pooing things that's not going right in the company, that energy is going to download to your people, and it's just going to feed like a virus. So she said, you have to be that energy, that lighthouse. She talked about the movement being the change in the world, like Melissa said. And there were 3 key things that she talked about in her presentation, is the commitment. Are you all in? And what are you willing to sacrifice? That was really powerful, because as a leader, you guys need to ask these questions to your new people. What people don't understand is just because it's a $50 investment, people just kind of like don't take it seriously, but it could change their life. And a changing of life is you as a leader is to help them paint the vision, help them get on calls, help them get out to the events, so that they can see that that $50 could turn into a 6-figure income, or a $40,000 income, or a $20,000 a year income, whatever that could look like. What we forget is that it's almost like as leaders, we can get scared, and the scared is because we're not believing in ourselves. So she just talked about be real with people and ask them that question, what are you willing to sacrifice? Because we all have the same 24 hours in the day. We all have the same product. We all have the same marketing plan, and everybody's busy. And some of the people that walk stage for NMD, you should hear how busy they are, how many kids they have, how many jobs they had, what they had to jump hoops to get to where they are, but they never let the excuses, the barriers stop them from getting to the top. And so you just have to have those real conversations with your distributors. What are you willing to sacrifice? So if you're willing to put that 3 hours or 5 hours in a week, there's going to have to be some sacrifice. And those are great conversations that you get to have with your distributors. Second comment that she had is trust. Trust the system, trust the company, trust yourself. That's probably sometimes the hardest part, is we're so fearful of our own failures that we just freeze and don't move forward. And so she talked a lot about learning how to, to do that self-worth talk. And then, of course, building into leadership. And leadership takes time. If you've never led a team, it doesn't happen overnight. And it didn't happen overnight for Kimberly. She had to do the work. She had to stumble. She had to get up and do it all over again. We heard one Australian NMD. She made me cry. It took her 4 years to, I think, get to national marketing director. And it wasn't an easy journey for her. And she talked about, midway through, she had lost a qualifying national marketing director leg, just picked up and went. And at that point, she was ready to quit this business. But it was in those moments of wanting to quit that she had to dig down so deep and realize why she was doing this, and to not let that horrific, at the time, event impact her future. And so a 24-hour pity party, she called it. She got back up and went to work, and she built herself up to NMD. And these are really important. That's one of my favorite parts of conference, is hearing the personal stories of triumph and defeat. And the journey is not a straight path. I don't think any story that I heard to NMD was a straight path. There was lots of ups and downs, but it's so inspiring to hear them, because we all have our own journeys. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer, and none of them are right or wrong. It's just our own personal journey. Let me see what else she talked about. I'm going to move on to Saturday morning. We had a very, very special guest speaker from the outside world of Juice Plus, named Dr. Tim Elmore. You want to write down this website. It's www.growingleaders.com. And his presentation was about an hour. And there's a really good visual slide that I will post after this talk tonight, so you can see it. But what he did is, his whole presentation was around dealing with the 5 different generations today. So people, well, I guess it would be like, way back to 1921 to being born, today. And he talked about each generation and their strengths and almost like their mindset. And I'll just give you a couple examples. He had talked about how, like, for example, the baby boomers, so that would be like our parents, that for them, technology is not as easy as it is for us or the younger generation. So I'll give you an example, and you can relate to this because I think, Chrissy, you had trained my mom and Jim on Facebook. Well, I've probably trained them 5 times on how to do a Facebook party, and you're laughing. And I'd be like, this is how you copy, this is how you paste. And they couldn't figure it out. They were so frustrated. And so finally I just said, you need to hire somebody to teach you. So in his presentation, what he was giving us examples is that as you're building your organization, you are going to bring on different generations, and you're going to have to learn how to effectively deal with each of those generations. And it can be really, really frustrating. Trust me, I was so frustrated with my mom. I was like, I'm done. I can't teach you anymore. So that's when I said you need to hire like a social media expert to teach you. So that was a really good eye-opener for me, is knowing that if I'm working with somebody that's 60 years old in this business versus a 20-year-old, it's going to look very, very different. Because the 20-year-old catches on like this, and the 20-year-old is looking for speed in this business, whereas a 60-year-old might not want speed. So that's why it's so important for us to have many different options in regards to launching a new rep with the different events. So, Facebook parties and texting challenge are probably going to relate more to the millennium, and the millenniums are the largest number in history. And the businesses that are growing right now around the world with Juice Plus are the ones that are bringing on the most millenniums. So it's the younger, I would say I'd have to go to my picture of what age group it is, but it's kind of like the 20 to mid 30-year-olds that fall in the millenniums. And they're the ones that are driving our business. And there was a couple examples, like in Italy in the last 2 years, there have been twin brothers that got recruited by a 39 clubber that was stuck at 39 Club for like 15 years and was just really in a rut. And he had recruited these twin brothers, and in 2 years, these twin brothers, early 20s, ended up growing a 600 club. And they did that all on social media, because they knew how to use social media. They were like social media experts. And I heard another story of a young lady that built her business on Twitter. It was like month 1, she had like 30 orders. Month 2, it bumped up to 300 orders. Month 4, 1,000 orders. And by month 4, she had generated over 3,000 orders on Twitter. So the message I got from Tim is look and recruit for millenniums that know how to use social media, because they will blow it up. That's where most of the growth is coming from right now around the world, is social media. And that's really exciting. Mitra's challenge when she closed the conference for us was to spend between 3 and 4 hours, and you can say a day, every second day, or at least once a week on social media, minimum. And really what you're looking for is pain. And she encouraged us to be stalkers almost on social media, but stalker as in building relationships and not just going through to the throat immediately. So reaching out to people, caring for them, having a conversation, going back and forth. It would be no different than having a phone conversation, but you're doing it through texting. And we should probably set up a time in a training where I can maybe give you some more insight and some verbiage of how I'm doing it. And maybe other people can add that value on how we can leverage social media, because I think this is a really big one. As Mitra said, 21 years ago when her and Doug built her empire of Juice Plus, they did trade shows, and they said they would spend 3 days standing on their feet, spending thousands of dollars trying to get, names of people. She said, you can do what we did in 3 days, 3 hours on social media, and save your $1,000. Only thing you might have to spend is you might send out some samples or some chews, to some of the moms that are interested in the product. Okay, let me see what else. Jennifer and Sean Myers closed the conference. What I'm really excited about, they're a millionaire couple in this business, very authentic. They've been around for over 25 years. They started when they were 24 and broke. Very well-educated couple. And the good news is that they're actually coming to our June 4th Toronto Super Regional. So you want to write that date down, June 4th. It's going to be in Markham at one of the local hotels. And they're going to actually do a little mini tour before they hit the Saturday event. So stay tuned. We're going to be working on flyers in the next couple weeks. On that date, June 4th, Stephen Ritz, the Tower Garden King of towers, not only is he going to be there on Saturday training on the towers, we've also, and thanks to Melissa Hyde, she was able to have a conversation with Stephen Ritz down at conference, and he's willing to fly in a bit earlier on the Friday and open up Friday night at the same hotel. So we can bring our prospects for Stephen Ritz on the Friday night so that your prospects can learn about the Tower Garden. So we're really excited. We're trying to get a ballroom that will hold at least 300 people because we're pretty confident we will fill it. And it'll probably be an Eventbrite ticket because tickets will probably be really a hot commodity. So we're really excited about that. I'm just going to give you a few tips of what they closed off at. He said, Sean said, you really have to have the right mindset in this business. You have the drifting life, the driven life, and those are both unconscious. If you want to live a conscious life, you need to design your life. And he used the example of when they traveled for a year apart. Yeah, they traveled for a year in a sailboat. And his comment was, it wasn't we had to design that, and it took them 3 years to design that plan. So he said, if you want to have the life that you want to design, you have to plan it and you have to be conscious. So really talked about, having your planner. It's like, the comment was, what does your calendar look like? Let me see. There was my February calendar. You see that? So is your calendar reflective of your goals? That was the message. Is your calendar reflective of your goals? So if you are trying to climb to NMD in the next year, your calendar better be full. It better be full around the other stuff. You stop watching TV, you're getting up earlier, and you're committed to the activity. The other thing is around clarity. What's important? I really like that. And I'll add the other picture, but it was like they had 20 things, and it's like, are you clear on your top 5 values? And is your calendar reflective of your top 10 values? So is Juice Plus within your top 5? And if so, again, make sure it's planned. This was interesting. This was actually came from a book on, I think it was called The Mind, maybe The Mindset. I think, Leah, you picked it up. You looked at it at the airport, the book at the store. Anyways, the point of it was, if you're going to work 3 to 4 hours a day, let's say on social media, our brain functions in about 50-minute increments. So they recommended not just hammering 3 to 4 hours, is to do 50 minutes and take a small break, and to make sure that when you are doing an activity, to be focused. So don't have your phone on and maybe your calendar open and you're on social media and you're on like Facebook and Twitter and you've got like 10 things going on. It won't give you the activity level that you need. So this book and the tips that Mitra and Joy were sharing is, do it in 50-minute increments, be a social media junkie, be a professional stalker, and go after recruiting people for the business. And the other thing that stood out was for the younger generation. So Jake Kelly, who's a 39 Club, her group of girls are in their 20s, and the 30-day challenge scares the crap out of them because you're asking them to go through 4 weekends with no alcohol. So that crowd of gals, men, when you say that they have to take 4 weekends off, for the 30-day challenge. That age group, for a lot of them, scares them because they've got party, birthdays, weddings. So they came up with the 10-day shred. And so encouraging people to do just a 10-day. And when they were presenting it, they said, that's only one weekend. We can commit to one weekend of no alcohol. And I thought that was funny. Again, that millennium mindset. So they still have that conversation with them to say, you know, our products come in a 4-month supply, but we're going to do a 10-day shred to launch your health program. So our products come in a 4-month supply, but we're going to launch your health program with a 10-day shred. So we're going to be really disciplined. We're going to have really strict rules. We're going to follow it by the book. And then after 10 days, you can decide if you want to continue or not. And a lot of them, the younger ones that are growing fast in this business, they actually do what's called a 5-day shred, Monday through Friday, and then they drink on the weekend. So it's so funny to listen to these young generation, because you have to be flexible in what works for them. So there's a lot more to say, but I know our time is running out. Does anybody have any comments or questions? We've got about 7 minutes left. Everyone's on mute, so you have to hit unmute. Oh, Leah? The Organized Mind. That was the book that this information was coming from, The Organized Mind. Thank you, Leah. Leslie, can you talk? You're in Florida. Can you share a few words about what you got at a conference?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, I've been to quite a few, as you know. I think the biggest thing is just always the NMD speeches, of course. They're always great. There's so many different ones and so many different perspectives, but just the belief in the product, right? It just keeps growing more and more. And just like we were out golfing and stuff today, and you know, you see people around, and it's just getting out of your comfort zone and talking to people, knowing that we have such an amazing product, and how you can't share it because you just never know. It's changing so many lives. You just have to do it, right?
Yep. Getting out of your comfort zone. The taxi guy that drove me to the airport, I ended up asking for a card. He didn't have one, but I gave him his. Just having a conversation, right?
Yep.
Anybody else want to comment or questions? I will end with a story that I heard yesterday at the poolside, because I think I've got 4 minutes left. So here's a story. So Brett, what is Brett's last name? Hold on. Kolesko. So he's a young chiropractor under 30. His dad is a chiropractor. So Brett just walked stage as a QNMD. His dad is a 50 Club. They're both chiropractors in Edmonton, Alberta. So Brett, when he was 17 years old, got a scholarship on hockey to go down to the United States. A month before, he got hit by a car. He shattered his skull. He broke many bones, and they didn't give him 24 hours to live, but he did. And they ended up having to figure out how they were going to fix his ankle because it was shattered. He got on a cast, and in 6 weeks went back, no healing. Went back 6 weeks later, no healing. So the doctors were getting really concerned that his bone was going to start to die, and that there was a big chance that they were going to have to remove his foot. By the third time, there was no healing, and his bone was actually dying. And they said, we'd give you one more round for 6 weeks, but there's nothing you can do. But they were determined to figure it out. Around that time, his dad found out about Juice Plus. They put him on double dose, went back for 6 weeks. He's sitting in the office with his dad. The doctor comes in. He looks at the x-rays in silence for 15 minutes, leaves. They're looking at each other thinking, this is it. The foot's going to come off. Another doctor comes in, takes a look at the x-ray. And they have this little private conversation. They turn around and the doctor says, I don't know what you're doing, but your bone isn't dead anymore. It's alive and it's healing. That's when he was 17 years old. So it took him a while to be a confident chiropractor to share Juice Plus, but his story is when he shares Juice Plus now as a young chiropractor, he tells them they go on Juice Plus. That's how confident he is, because he has a product story like that Juice Plus saved his foot. I got goosebumps just telling you now, but those are the stories that you get to hear at conference, and that's why I always love to go. So on that note, guys, the Juice Plus, and Leah, you shared some of your story too, which was so profound. I know we don't have time today, but give people the 2 thumbs up on your product belief. She has a huge story. Yeah, Pen, she's like this. And
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to unmute it.
oh, she's trying to talk.
Can you hear me?
We've got a minute, but your belief, Leah, has changed in the last 4 months, yes?
Yeah, 60 seconds, long story. I have Lyme disease. I was diagnosed in, go away, Paulo. I was diagnosed in September. I wasn't healing very well. I was having a hard time battling this. And in January, with my naturopathic specialist and Lyme support, she tested my Juice Plus because she said I needed to rid toxins of my body. Wanted to add me to cilantro capsules. I asked her to test my Juice Plus. Long story short, I need 4 purples, 4 reds, 6 greens taken 3 times a day, 2 capsules per time. And within 10 days, I noticed a substantial difference. I was suffering through depression, and the mercury levels were crazy out of control, and the Juice Plus helped rid my body of it. I still have mercury in me, but I'm dealing with it. I'm taking 14 pills every day minimum, if not more. There's way more to go. I know I'm out of time, so we can share it again another time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. And this is recorded. We will post it probably by tomorrow to share it with your team. Have a good night and be brave. We've got a gift in our hands, and it's up to you to share it with the world. Create a movement. Bye.